Get mugged.
Damn. Oh.
Get mugged.
It's a brutalization. Holy moly.
All right.
What?
But welcome one and all to the FMEC Podcast Edition 1 pilot episode, bringing you all the latest and greatest regarding what is going on. We're going to quickly go over the success that was BDB number 5 and hopefully share some new details about Bach number 6.
Indeed.
With Mr. FMEC himself, Noah Pope.
You could say we are all the FMEC, but indeed, joining me here, Mr. Aidan, FMEC head news anchor, here to just create some content. We like making content and figure in the off season, this is a great time to kind of just get those juices flowing and share some fun details as we, as we're in the off season. On the lead up to Bacchanalia 6, which is going to be here before we know it. So, yeah, Saturday morning. I think the first thing we wanted to talk about was the BDB. BDB number 5. Aidan, what were your thoughts?
Well, despite what comes to mind immediately, it was a phenomenal event. I think anybody that was able to make it knows that it was a very special weekend. I think 90% of what 90% of what I've heard from everybody after the event was very overwhelmingly positive, with some notable exceptions that we'll get into later. But we've heard your feedback, and of course, we're going to implement that feedback into the future events. But yeah, the BDB number 5 was intense.
You said, almost everybody had a great time. I think this is now a fitting opportunity to bring in the FMEC stakeholder report, because at the end of the BDB, we asked everybody that went, sent a Google survey to be able to get some feedback. Every year we want to make the event better and better, and the best way to do that is to hear from y'all. And so we had this stakeholder report published. I have it in front of me now. Aidan probably can't see my screen, but it's okay. And
I've memorized the document.
Indeed. I will direct our attention to the survey at the bottom here, which one of the questions was, how much did you enjoy? We had a 9.4. Now, a 9.4, that's pretty damn good. Granted, there's a 0.6 there where we're like, all right, what do we got to do to get that last 0.6? Because we're looking for 10s. I mean, what are we doing if we're not looking for 10s? But, an A, a solid A for how much you enjoy, we can take it.
Agree.
You can see other metrics here. How much was it worth the monetary cost? 9.5. Somehow it was more worth the monetary cost to attend the event than the enjoyment gained from the event. So there's a story there, I guess. Now, the venue, we got a 9.8, the highest rating on all of the metrics. And for those of you that are listening that were not able to attend the BDB, let me go ahead and describe why. This event's venue was, bar none, the best venue we'd ever been a part of. You could say we were truly blessed to be able to attend this venue. It was a literal resort, manicured lawns, landscape architecture, so many bathrooms. We had a sauna, a dry heat, a wet heat sauna, all the coffee we could want, all the towels we could want, plenty of beds, which for how many people we had? 50 people, by the way, 50 people. That is an impressive accomplishment. Sand volleyball, ping pong. And Aidan, I think truly one of my favorite parts about the BDB this year is we saw people using those amenities. People played in the sand volleyball. I saw people playing pickleball, playing ping pong, like around the big tournaments that, of course, the BDB is known
Going
for.
into the lake.
In the lake, of course, on a lakefront property. It's just really special to be able
Everything
to
was
see
used.
people go out and spend time on the venue, having fun with friends, just having a good time outside of the big tournaments that the BDB is known for. So it's no surprise that people love the venue. Yeah, let's see.
I agree.
Other components of this report. I mean, 50 people
I was gonna
overall.
say,
We had 32 players for both Smash and Magic. I think that is actually not the biggest tournament we've ever had for Smash. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Aiden.
definitely not. That was an intentional choice, if I remember, to cap the tournament
Correct.
attendees, given the scale of BDB number 5 was a lot larger than normal. We had a much bigger venue, like you said. But you also said everybody was using all the amenities outside the tournaments. But let's pump the brakes. Let's be honest here. At the BDB, the tournaments are what mattered.
It's true.
And getting into those, in this podcast host lineup, there is at least one champion and another, I guess, almost champion.
Well, if we look at this FMEC stakeholder report, we can see right at the top of the top 7 losers, we have our co-host
The
name. Thank you, Britt,
champion
our
loser.
design chieftain, for making that as
Visually glaringly apparent as possible. Yes, thank you.
Exactly. But it was a beautiful run. So, Aiden, please take us through your perspective, start to finish. You show up to the Smash event, start playing your first games till the final round ended. Like, tell us your story.
Okay. Yeah, this tournament was definitely a mixed bag coming into it because the BDB it wasn't always this way, but it has sort of ever since I think Brit's tournament, um, ever since Brit won the second BDB, it just kind of morphed into realistically the one that matters.
That's correct.
It is like the make or break. Everything is serious. There's no fun and games. Like there are egos on the line.
You know, Aiden,
Um,
I don't mean, I think it's important context, actually. We might have jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit. Maybe it's worth describing just briefly, like, the BDB, like, what is it? Because it's exactly what you're describing. If somebody's watching this and they're like, what is the Big Dog Birthday
good
Bash?
point. Exactly. That's a
What,
very good point.
and then later we can describe what's going on with the Bacchanalia. I will give what I see as my definition, and then you, I think, supplement it with your understanding. But I mean, basically, from the first event, BDB1 involved 2 events, and that's it. It was a birthday weekend and involved a weekend of playing a Smash Brothers tournament, because a lot of our friends were involved in Smash Bros. And then a Magic the Gathering Cube tournament, because a lot of us were involved in that. And that tournament didn't have crazy stakes. It was really just having fun with the boys. But there were tournaments, and there was, a winner in both events. And every year since then, that really hasn't changed. We've had 2 tournaments, 2 and only 2 for the Big Dog Birthday Bash, now renamed Big Dog Bash, Smash and Magic. And the goal for that tournament is to get all of these friends together in one space and have these 2 tournaments be as epic in the truest sense of the word as we can make it. A grandiose scale, just a lot of people, high stakes. We want competitive integrity as much as we can, and have it just be an environment where the merit of each person within these 2 events is tested, and at the end, only one person is left standing in both the Magic and Smash. Of course, it is a weekend of friendship and hanging out with the boys. That never changes. But what is the actual event? Well, it really is just kind of those 2 tournaments. That's how I see the BDB. Anything to add or other context, Aiden?
Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with that, but I would add a distinction. because you covered everything, but I think there's definitely a clear. I'm actually going to sit down to say this because this is important
Oh,
for the BDB. Things need to be clear. And if the content challenger videos for the Smash tournament and the attitudes of some of the people there this year didn't make it clear enough, there are definitely two types of people that attend um, Big Dog Bashes, and those are competitors and enjoyers, enthusiasts.
we
There are
love you,
definitely.
enjoyers.
I mean,
We
honestly,
couldn't do it without you.
I've been taking the long and hard road of becoming an enthusiast, and it's definitely a better place to be. But yeah, there's two types of people that go to the BDB. There's the enthusiasts that have a good time. They enjoy everything about the venue. They enjoy meeting new people. You know, they like to hang out with their own friend group, mix and match a little bit, meet new people, make some new friends, which is what the FMEC is all about. Have plenty of alcohol, and have a good time. And then there's competitors. We've seen competitors come and go for the BDB, but one thing remains clear, and that is that the BDB is, like I said earlier, the one that matters. Bach titles have been relegated to this, gold star sticker um, that seemingly holds a lot less weight, which will soon be an exciting segue for this upcoming one. But yeah, like Noah said, the BDB is just mainly focused on those two tournaments, and as the years have gone on, they've continued to evolve.
Well, you said something really important there, Aiden. I think it's a really
Yeah,
great distinction. How it is an open invitation. Whoever joins the tournament is on the same floor of like we invite you to compete. However, in reality, I do think it's important to acknowledge there kind of are two groups of people. There are the people that like are competitive and really have a chance to win, and then there are the homies that are there and joining to participating because they're part of the weekend and like want to be there for the boys and have a good time and like aren't realistically giving it their aren't shooting for the win, and that's totally okay. But granted, that has made it a little bit interesting when part of the struggle in the past is when we've done it at certain venues and the entire time is these two tournaments. We're talking all of Friday night into the morning is Smash Tournament number one. Saturday all day is Magic. Saturday night is top 8 or whatever. Sunday more, like every bit of it is these two tournaments. If you are just there as a enjoyer and not a competitor, if you get out early Friday and then early Saturday morning and everyone else is only doing those two tournaments, it can be a little tough just like hanging out. So that's the beauty of this last BDB, and that's why I brought up seeing people do the amenities, is because it just allowed the tournaments to not lose their integrity, but the enjoyers to still get a lot out of it, which I think was really valuable. So all that to say, that's the BDB. Aiden and I going into it probably more on the competitor side, both for Smash in this context, and then we'll get into Magic. But with all that context, this is the BDB. Aiden, a competitor, realistic chance to win it all, shows up day one. Cut back to to your story.
yeah. So I guess setting it all up, definitely, like I said earlier, was moving into more of the enthusiast category, at least mentally. Um, Previous events, a lot more uh, bombastic attitude. I think visually to a lot of people there that, I wanted to win and do it in stylistic fashion, but this one was nice because I had the attitude of, it had been a longer time since I'd seen a lot of the people that frequent these. So I was really excited to more just hang out and be a part of the group, which was nice. Um, until the group stage was over, because
And I will take
I mean,
one more quick pause to say, if you
yeah,
haven't
go
seen
ahead.
Aiden's player interview, you can find out a little bit more
Yeah,
hyperbolic. These player interviews, maybe some of my favorite content I've ever made. but you can see a little bit of a exaggerated perspective as to Aiden's understanding going into the events, and
Yeah.
you know
Definitely a preview of what I was in past events if you are one of the
playing a
newer
character.
comers.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
playing a character in these
That
Smash
character was
reviews.
definitely real though. That character was a real person that arrived from, I'd say, BDB 2 to Bach 5,
Yeah.
if honestly was a
Well,
very long-standing
when
character.
we make the stakes as high as they are, it can be difficult to kind of shake out the like. It can really bring out the
Yeah.
competitive nature in you, and being intentionally, reframing it as being an enjoyer. It can take some work. So definitely a lot of
It it
respect in that.
it did. And the unfortunate side effect was feeling during the end of the group stage was definitely feeling very nervous. A lot of the people that we would put in the enthusiast category um, are, by virtue of playing twice a year, getting better and better. Quick shout outs to Colin and Uzi, who gave me a run for my money in the early stages of the tournament and kind of um, awakened that old character a little bit. Um, Heading into day two. Day two was probably
And remind us, Aiden.
dating.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
for the format of the BDB this year, we had a pool stage, and if
Hmm.
you went 4-0, you automatically qualified. If you went 3-1, you had to face in a Thunderdome against other 3-1 players, and in the
Hmm.
Thunderdome to move on, you just had to win one match. Remind us, when did you qualify for day two? Were
Oh yeah, I was a late qualifier. Yeah, so I played a couple games and I was able to win. Um, I played Lucas in one of the early rounds. Who, if you don't know who Lucas was, if you didn't have the chance to meet Lucas at the BDB or see what he did, he basically was it became very clear after the first game that he played that he was a favorite to win the entire thing. Um,
It was a little
but
bit
we'll
more
get
than just a dark horse at a certain
yeah,
point.
we'll get more to that later. He was a newcomer, a friend of Sam Pope's from up in Boston, and they both have a long history of playing the game. So we will definitely get into that further into the story. But I lost to Lucas, so I was not one of the people that immediately qualified, but I did have to play in the Thunderdome,
I
which
believe the two that automatically qualified was just Nick
Nick.
and Lucas. Is that the case, or did Lucas
Nick
lose one
and
in the?
Lucas
No.
did not lose in the pool stage. So Nick and Lucas moved on 4-0. I was in the Thunderdome with many others.
Myself
Um,
included.
yeah, played Brendan round one, a snake player, who, granted, is definitely at the upper end of that enthusiast category, but
He doesn't play
as far as
regularly. He's
no.
he's a self-described enthusiast. He's like, I know a lot about Snake, watch a lot of videos, know a lot of tech, but just like, don't grind. And that's
Mhm.
like honestly the kind of perfect like the perfect place to be for these events. Like, I don't know, grinding is a little
Yeah, being good enough
soul
to have
killing.
fun, but not having skin in the game is definitely
Exactly.
you know
And
the
like being
most
able to
pleasant.
compete, like this is pretty exciting.
I
So
agree. Yeah. So I played Brendan, was able to move on.
unfortunately,
Um,
for Brendan's sake, he plays Snake. Snake is able to get a lot of ground when your opponent does not know Snake, and unfortunately for Brendan, Aiden
I have a
also
lot of
plays
experience with
Snake.
Snake. Yeah.
He has experience playing against
Both.
Snake and as
Yeah.
Snake. So
So Brendan got his probably second, if not most, worst matchup in the entire tournament.
it's a tough pull for
Um,
Brendan. Still made top
yeah,
eight though.
he
Shout out
did.
Brendan.
Yep, he did, which is very impressive.
One of the only double top eighters in both Magic and Smash. Always an impressive feat.
True. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that was my run into top eight. Um, from there, there was very clearly like an elite four,
So
I
the
should
top
say.
eight, as a additional context. Day 2, top 8 qualified were Brendan, Seth, Nick, myself, my brother, Sam Pope, Rusty, and Aidan and Lucas. That was the
Hmm.
8 players moving into day 2.
Yeah. And I got, um, it was very apparent that there was like a top 4 of like scary people in the top 8. I think Rusty, whose Bowser is always scary, is very
The
scary,
winner of last
obviously.
BDB.
Yeah, winner of BDB4, as my camera decides to flashbang me. Lucas, who at this point had been unfazed by literally every other competitor. Nick, who went 4-0 out of nowhere, and beat Sam Pope, I believe.
Barely.
And of course, Sam Pope himself. I think
Who
for
and
most of the people that qualified, those were the 4 scariest people.
Sam Pope had won the last event he went to, the Bacchanalia, 4, I believe, without dropping a
Indeed,
single
yeah, it was
match,
4.
and had like 100% win rate through the whole thing. Had not shown up in a couple years, but people had their eye on him from the beginning. Knew he was a scary competitor, and making day 2, that opinion did not change. I believe it was Nick that knocked him into losers. Yeah, and
It
so
was.
for the first time, we're able to see, potentially winnable, but still very scary. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in that top 8, but Aiden and I have played many times. The last tournament we played at, he had my number and like completely wrecked me. So probably not, the most scared. And then
Yeah, I
Seth and
think at
Brendan as
that
well.
point though, we knew that if we played it would be a hard game, but I don't think either of us, at least at that point, hey, this tournament might be a little different, but at BDB 5, at that point, I think we were both definitely aware that it would be a hard game, but I don't think either of us were in like scared per
It's
se.
not scared. Honestly, it's always a fun. Like Aiden and I have played each other literally since the first one. In the first BDB, the finals was was Aiden and I playing Snake Dittos, and I'm like we faced
Yeah.
at almost every tournament since. Like we just, it's a good time. We always have fun. It's pretty low stress, even if it's a high stakes match. Like I don't know. I feel like neither of us have like a super big. I don't know, like something to prove over each other. We're just there. We're playing a game and having fun. And
It is the most like it is the most non intense but
we feel
intense
something different
rivalry.
for some of the other players at the
Yeah.
FMEC.
No, we funnily enough have the most like statistical rivalry, I think. Like we have played each other the most out of like it's like in the top 5 it has to be at
Yeah,
least.
I think so. Let's see.
But there's like absolutely no beef or bad blood per se about it. It's almost like incidental that we play each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly. The official record between you and I is 5-5 right now, according
Mm.
to our great website, Smash Ranks. This is Aiden's profile. Here's myself. 5-5. So 10 matches we have played against each other, and the record is 5-5. Probably more
Yeah.
recently, I would say it skews towards him a bit, but hey, man, we can always bring it back.
Yeah, well, we're about to get into that.
A little
Uh,
foreshadowing.
Continuing on to the run, because my first match, I don't even remember who it was
In the top 8,
in the top 8. Yeah, let me
it was it
pull up the
Seth or
bracket.
Brendan again? Because you won.
I think it was Seth, which I think given tourney results. Let's go to BDB 5. Of course, the BDB bracket is not up yet because it was in the app.
All right, missing opportunity.
Anyways,
we need
yeah,
to
I
do
believe
that.
it was Seth, and which, granted, out of everybody in the top 8, I think anybody that is in that top level would view that as like a good draw for me.
Just in terms of seeding alone, like there's like
Yeah,
top 16 players and like top 3 players. Like if you hit top,
but
16 seed, you're gonna feel better.
I think realistically, in terms of like improvement, and you know, small amount based on the character he plays. I don't think there are a lot of people that are scarier than Seth in that group.
Brandon is one of those players, I think.
Brandon is also a scary member of that group, but I think Seth is definitely, he just has fundamentals across a lot of fighting games that carry over into Smash decently well. There's just certain areas that are exploitable, that made the game.
So he got the dub, and he moved
I
on
did. We
to
did
the
take
next
the
round.
dub, and we moved on to, I think it was Rusty immediately.
He goes
Which
fast in the top
is
8.
Yeah, because Rusty beat Lucas. Rusty beat Lucas, which was Lucas's only was his first loss up until his only loss up until that point in the entire tournament, and sent him to the losers bracket. So on winner's side, it ended up being me and Rusty, and that was complete. That was probably my most. That was when the switch kind of came on. Instead of, I could have gone two directions that tournament. I could have reverted to, full hyperbolic, you know, I'm going to win the whole thing and I'm going to talk trash while I do it. Or I could, go full, um, full detached. And I somehow like struck the perfect balance of just being focused, which is very boring for telling a story because,
He locked in, man. He locked in. What can you say?
yeah, I 3-0'd him or 3-1'd him or something and hit clips. And if anybody was watching and saw the Nair flip kick, that thing looked cool. Maybe a down air as well to end the entire set, like clinical, precise. That was when the switch kind of came on. Sent Rusty back down to losers.
Actually,
Um,
I'm looking. I think based on the
I played
bracket,
Rusty after you then.
Going through the stream, I think I found the bracket, and I believe you actually faced me the next
Okay.
round after beating Seth.
Right after Seth.
Yeah, right
Well,
after
similar
Seth.
story, I guess.
Yeah, similar story. He locked in. It was pretty decisive.
Yeah.
Certainly sent me sent me pack into the loser bracket.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Lucas Rusty faced, and
Was ours 3-1 or 3-0?
honestly, I don't see it here. I think I want to say I got one. I'm pretty sure it's 3-1, but it also could have been
You got
3-0.
the
Like,
first one or something,
yeah, I think I got like the
or like
first one, and then
1-1.
you like locked in.
Yeah, that there was definitely
Yep,
there
it
was
was
like a
3-1.
lot of
It was
things
3-1.
that I remember from that first set because it was cold in that room.
Yeah.
I was nervous. Even if it wasn't cold, my hands were cold. My hands were shaking, and that was kind of like the first time the entire weekend that the lights came on and was like, okay, maybe I do want to like do well in this tournament. Maybe I don't want to be just an enjoyer. And was able to kind of play really, really well, better than I probably have ever, especially on that character. And took the dub ski, moved on to Rusty, as I said before, took another dub ski. Rusty,
I mean,
then, yeah,
a quick thing to probably a good opportunity to mention. You were playing ZSS this whole tournament, which was unique. This is a big deal because Aidan, for every tournament since the beginning, had been swapping through characters left and right throughout the tournament. Would like bust out a new character every match. A lot of times, multiple characters a match. Certainly a strength that he knows the roster as well as he does, but also, can provide a little bit of downside because you're not as trained on each character potentially. And Aidan loves ZSS. Well, maybe you can describe a little bit about that dynamic.
yeah. I'd say for anybody that probably, I think this is probably a relatable sentence for a lot of people that play Smash at least more than a little bit, is that there are fans of characters and then there are like players of characters. And I am not a player of ZSS. I am definitely in the fan category because my natural talents in the game do not align with that character at all. But I like what she does, so I kind of, it was a very long period of, wanting to force myself to play her. But ironically, the moment I didn't force myself to play her, everything kind of clicked, or at least I had done it so long that it finally clicked, or whatever happened. But yeah, she's a very difficult player
And I remember you
to
saying that this
pilot.
was the send-off tournament, right? You were like, I am
Yeah.
playing her and no one else for this event, and then
Hmm.
I won't feel obligated to play her, anymore. Like
Exactly. It was I'd finally, there's like it's like if you give up, that's the only way you permanently fail, right? In anything. If you give up, that's the only way you truly fail. Because you can fail and get back up and whatever, but giving up is the death sentence, right? I had given up on ZSS completely, and I was like, all right, BDB, I don't win these things anyway. I said that a lot too. I don't win these tournaments. These tournaments are not mine. I'm gonna play her. I'm gonna do my best, and then pack it up and put it away and give up for real. And the moment I gave up is the moment that I played her to such a level that I think I might not be able to. So that was the interesting part about it for sure.
notably, the reason why he's saying he's not a BDB player, well, winner, is Aiden had won the first Bach, the second Bach, and the third Bach with multiple second places around, but no BDB wins coming into this tournament. All that
Yeah.
to say, also we were watching the end of the Smash game while you were talking about our match a little bit. You did finish it. It was pretty good match, or pretty good final game, and pretty close throughout the start. And then you hit me with the meteor spike on the final stock to win the match. So pretty hype.
Yeah. It it
Um,
it was kind of like the entire attitude that I was talking about, where the moment I didn't have the defined goal in mind of I'm going to win and it's going to be a dominating fashion and it's going to be cool.
yep,
The moment that was no longer a goal, the more it just worked out that way, which is
absolutely.
kind of an interesting insight.
It's cool.
Um,
The mental dynamics play such a factor in my mind. Like, and not even
Definitely.
you can like lock in, you can take it casually, you can have stress, you can have not, and like all these dynamics playing together influence a lot.
Speaking of, I got a lot of questions um, from, you know, a couple people, maybe more than a couple people, because there's a notable intermission in our set. Um,
You and me?
yep, there's a long intermission, and many people asked, what the heck were y'all talking about? And there were some people that had theories that have played you before that, thought that, oh, Noah's in a last ditch effort to win the set is trying to get in Aiden's head.
Oh, of course.
Um, so I wanted to give you the chance to kind of,
I have no
say
idea what
what
happened.
we
I
were
don't remember
talking about.
this. I'll
We
tell
were
you, I was.
talking about the lake, I think. Like
I
like
mean,
we
honestly, we're
talked
probably
about
just raffing.
the
Like we have
we
such a
were
good
kind of
even.
raffing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I like our matches so much. Is because even when I'm on the game losing match or the game losing game or the match losing game, right? We're one
Mhm.
game away from the match being over. I'm down. Even still, like I feel like we can just talk and like be chill. If I'm down a game against Dylan, dude, I am locked in. I am in my own world. I am gotta be like zoned in.
You're
But
not
I guess
talking to him.
yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna be talking.
So
Maybe a little
do
bit.
you not think that you don't think that future competitors against you should be aware of your ability to riff and maybe destabilize
Hey man,
the locked in attitude of your
you know
opponent?
what? Here's the deal. We create the framework of the tournament. It's up to the players to choose what to do with that framework. And if you're gonna bring out the mental warfare, until ain't no rules against it. That's all I'm
This guy's
saying.
PR trained. This guy's PR trained. Don't listen
Yeah,
to anything that he says. He's trying to take me off my game.
I am a snake. But
It's true.
anyways, we got the
He does play
final
Snake.
match. Aiden versus Lucas, grand
Yeah,
finals of the tournament.
that was not. That one definitely caught me off guard. Lucas is, I think, for the level that our friend group plays at, is very good. Um, I think he does a lot of things or he implements a lot of things that, while maybe looked down upon as like things that could be exploited at higher levels, at our level, I think was exactly what he needed to do, which was abuse the fact that his character can attack all the time everywhere. um, and my character, which is very precise, um, and oftentimes just straight up doesn't work, um, and is also weak to small characters. It was kind of like a perfect storm of things that, given my lack of prior preparation with the matchup, was like the perfect kryptonite to just kind of send me packing and kill the dream of winning my first BDB, which is, the name of the game. And yeah, Lucas, I think there was the second game I was able to win by implementing some things, but I mean, he had my number the whole time, and there were certain things that I noticed even in the game that I won that he was adjusting to in real time, and he's just kind of like, he came in from Boston, just a cut above everybody at the tournament, and took it home. Though I will say, there's a lot of ego down here in Texas, and if he thinks that if he came back it would be exactly the same, I don't know. We saw what happened to Sam Pope, and he got surprised. So if
Exactly.
Texas can do anything, it's adapt. So
I'd like to think so. Also, an important
yeah,
disclaimer: he lost a match. I mean, he did not win this
he did.
tournament with a unblemished record. He did lose a
Hmm.
match against Rusty, and all that means is he's not invincible.
The God
Now,
bleeds.
yeah, Rusty won the last tournament. Now this tournament, he lost. I mean, he did well, but he lost. I
Yeah.
think my prediction, Lucas is an incredible player, does great. He will be able to rank highly and be a real contender to win every tournament he comes to. Will he win again? Look, not if we got something to say about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think Rusty was like the proof in the pudding that, um, I mean, he did well again. He did. Um,
Absolutely.
but Lucas, who had never played him before, did, after losing to him once, was able to adapt to Rusty and send him home in losers bracket. But I, who had lost to Rusty in BDB4, beat him 3-0 to get him to losers bracket in the first place. So like, the adaptation is there. And even Dylan, who lost to Rusty in group stages, took 2 games off Rusty. So like, Rusty did not have as an easy run, Lucas aside.
No, correct. And
So
like that's the beauty of it because the stakes are so high and the players are so good. Like winning takes merit, and getting in a top 8 really does, I mean, require playing well. And so that's I don't know, a cool part about
yeah, the
the
past the
BDB.
past 2 BDBs have been kind of that, fool me once kind
Certainly.
of example.
Well, you
So
know
we'll
what?
we'll see if Lucas comes down. Let's see if he can fool us twice, right?
I mean, look, we are honored anytime somebody flies across the country to come to the
True.
BDB. So, like, shout out our man first off for just like
And
making
dealing with
that giant leap, having never met us. I mean, just my brother and I, knowing him and nobody else, and flying all the way down to hang out with these goobers. Like, beautiful, beautiful events. You can see.
yeah, he was also really cool outside of playing
Yeah,
Smash. So
super cool, and
it was a good
that's
time.
the beauty of it. I think is
And
just so many cool
the
guys.
the ordeal that is dealing with the lack of vegan options in Austin.
Yeah, well,
He was
it's
willing to
hard
do all
food
that.
food at these events. A great opportunity to shout out our food team this event. Ian, I mean, all of the guys that helped put together food for this event were lifesavers. I mean, I cannot dozens of compliments about the food and the chicken skewers and just like everything that happened there. It took a team to make it happen, and
Oh,
shout out
breakfast was
the
my
team that
favorite.
helped make it happen.
Bang up job on breakfast.
For sure, and breakfast was delicious too. So I mean, Aiden, you didn't win the whole tournament, but you got second place.
No.
Another medal next to your name, forever emblazoned on your website portfolio. So
Enshrining.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I
silver
will
laden.
keep my description of the Magic event as brief as I can because obviously, I don't know, if you don't play Magic, it's hard to care, which fair enough. So I'll keep
True.
it brief. But going into this tournament, the Magic event for the BDB is always a little unique because it's been Commander Cube every time, but every time we have tried to spice it up and make it very distinct from the rest, with the goal being it's hard to prepare for. You can't just like grind cube and then feel like you're going to be prepared going into the BDB because it's always different. There'll be new mechanics, new just ways of going about it, really trying to think outside the box. This year it involved a group stage and a top eight, similar to Smash, with the difference that every single group stage cube was vintage cube, which we had not done before, and have like a cross pollination outside the cubes. And I mean, you could get down the rabbit hole of how we structured the seeding and choosing your seed order and everything. Like there's a lot there. Experimental, of course, but in reality, it meant that you played 2 matches of vintage cube against one of 2 other people in the 32, and if you won both, you qualified for top 8. If you lost even a single match, you're running, your shot was out. I was in a cube with some other guys. I was feeling decent about my place, and actually was sitting right next to Aiden here. And I thought that might have been to my advantage, and realized that was not the case because this man scooped up every good card that was going to be passed to me, went through the
Yep.
filter of Aiden, who would continually just be sitting next to me like, holy, this just got passed to me. What the? Like, and I'm just sitting here looking
Yeah.
at like the worst pack I've ever seen in my life, every single pack. So that was funny. I ended up with a pile, a certified Noah vintage cube pile. Like, yeah, there were some good cards in there, but it was nothing that you don't look at it and you're like, this is the deck that's gonna get there. It was a deck that I looked at and I was like, this is certainly one of the vintage cube decks of all time. I believe I actually took a.
Do you think you run hotter in Magic or in Smash? Which one do you
Uh,
think has more weight for you?
for what do you mean by run hotter?
What gets the blood flowing? What sets the ego aflame
Um,
more?
I enjoy the stakes of Magic more.
Hmm.
But there's something it's a little bit harder
It's
because it's
longer too.
yeah, exactly. It's a little more of a slow burn. It's like a slow burn that really starts to heat up. Like I really like those stakes, but um Smash is so intense and so like short. Like it
Yeah.
is a very distinct like I don't know. This thing is happening and
I
it
think that probably says something about you kind of in a way where it's like, you have a very long fuse to where by the time, Smash gets your blood flowing, it's probably already over.
I think that's totally fair. I mean, it just goes fast, man. Like I mean, you're playing and it the matches are like what, a few minutes, right? Like they're just a few minutes
Yeah.
and are happening. Okay, I think I found a picture of my deck, although I can't believe I'm like struggling to remember what my deck even looked like. It wasn't this one. I can share though that I faced Seth in the first round, which was hilarious because it was crazy close, and Seth had only really started playing Magic. I mean, not too recently. Like he was still somewhat new to it, but was able to. I guess this was my deck, um, which is
The
interesting.
BDB February 22nd or
Yes,
21st?
it was. It
Okay.
was. Um, okay,
So yeah, you
so
2-0'd Seth.
yeah,
Seeing
I
that.
faced Seth. Here's my deck. You can take a look at it if you want. I mean, I had a everyone started with power was another thing. We seeded power, and so everybody had a piece of power in their opening pack. Mine was Mox Pearl, which is arguably like, bottom three amongst the other worst Mox. So I wasn't super excited about that. Had some decent options out of the pile. Like, it's a 5-color pile for sure. I mean, we had Academy, we had Artifacts, we had things to do, but like, it was fragile and little scuffed. I think we ended up running like Thragtusk main board because we were just that short on playables. It was a little scuffed. We faced Seth. We 2-0 him, but it was super close, and I was sweating. Like, when I won the final game, I remember like getting up from the table and being like, "Oh my god! Like, I cannot believe that actually just happened."
Yeah.
Then I go into facing Alejandro, who had a sick artifact deck, and I think he won game one, if I'm trying to remember. But going into game three, it was 1-1, and game three progressed with him grinding advantage until I was like literally top decking, had what felt like no playable outs, and then drew a sideboard card I forgot about, Colligan's Command, and was able to do, like, you see the numbers and the the things flowing past my head because seeing the lines, all of a sudden was able to, like, Colligan's Command, return this, be able to trigger this, get Displacer Kitten, be able to combo off, and basically, like, from a top deck was able to chain together an infinite combo to, like, win through what felt like a unwinnable board state. Like, truly one of the craziest ends to a game of all time, and all because my deck was a pile of jank cards, was able to make it
Yeah.
happen. But it, like, truly what, like, I cannot overstate how unwinnable it felt, and how I was like just thinking about conceding, but like, whatever, let's see what the last card is. And then drew it and was like, okay, cool. And then, like, wait a second, wait, if I do this, hold on, does it actually? And then, like, all of a sudden it did work and was able to get there. Super crazy. Cannot believe I won that, qualified top 8. Day 2 was spicy.
Yeah, this format was interesting.
This is interesting. It can be it's difficult to come up with a unique, distinct cube format every time. This year, the way we tried to do that was an auction where you were able to put up cards to the auction from the competitive Commander Cube, which was the top 8 format, and try to bid on the cards to win the cards. And you won bidding points based on activities throughout the weekend, essentially. So everyone came into the draft with a couple cards pre-named, ready to bid on. Mine was like a really aggressive strategy around a 5-color commander. All you need to know, I ended up winning neither of those cards. Jonah, who was sitting next to me, ended up overbidding me on both of my cards, and ended up not only with the 2 cards that I put up to bid, but a third, like, just bonus card that he ended up with because of his draft strategy and how it worked out in the bidding. I mean, an auction is an auction, right? So some things are going to be overbid, some things are going to be underbid. And he got a really good deal, started off with exactly what I wanted to do, plus a piece of power, which was sick. I ended up going all in on Time Walk, the classic 2 mana, take an extra turn spell in Magic, which is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, pieces of power.
Before we get
Commander.
into that, what happened to Sam?
Yeah, I'll certainly get there in just a sec. But I think this is actually probably a good opportunity. I don't know if we have do we not have a photo of the top 8 Magic players? No, maybe not, but top 8 for Magic was myself, Da, Jonah. I could pull it up here on the BDB report. Da, Jay, Jonah, Will, Sam Niemeyer, Kevin, Brendan, which is super cool. Again, Brendan was able to qualify top 8 in both. Kevin, another fresh blood, never shown up to an event, first time making top 8, super cool. Sam Niemeyer has been a realistic shot to win every single one of these tournaments every year, and every year has had it stolen away from him. Will, great guy, first time showing up to the BDB, any FMEC event, also top 8. Also exciting because, like, up until a few months ago when he started to join us for cubes, Will hadn't really played a lot of, like, competitive Magic. Like, more just casual Commander with friends, which is great, but a very different environment than a competitive cube tournament where you're facing a bunch of other people that have played a lot of competitive Magic and competitive cubes. So to have him make top 8, super exciting. And then Jonah, Jay, and Daw, all like all-star Magic players who have top 8'd other events before and, just been in the running to win it. So repeat offenders there. And yeah, so we did the draft. I ended up with what I felt was a solid start for my draft. Obviously, Time Walk was great. The rest of my cards were kind of mediocre. Essentially, I overpaid for Time Walk, but it's such a great card that whatever. The only other notable things I'll share about the draft portion, the bid portion, is that our friend Sam was about as hungover as you could possibly be going into this event. This was him moments before we started the draft, like literally as we're sitting at the table. This is how Sam looked. He was not ready. Also, was exactly how I felt last year at my bachelor party, BDB 4. I was also feeling
me
very
too.
similar. But
me too, honestly.
Yeah,
So many people were
so
actually
many
at
people.
that
Turns
one.
out we drank a lot. Sam went into the draft and ended up overbidding on a very strong Conspiracy, which is a great card to have in your deck, but I think got a little bit carried away at trying to win the card and
Yeah.
ended up bidding life points of his starting total. Essentially, we had like a desperation mechanic where if you didn't have enough points to bid on a card that you wanted, you could put up for auction points from your starting life total. So you start at 40 or whatever, and you can put 10 of your life total points, start at 30 to add more 10 points to the bin. It was actually used a couple times outside of this, but the most notable was that Sam bid 31 life points, starting at 9 life for the rest of the tournament to be able to win this, arguably the best card in the cube, but still, pretty funny. And then proceeded to lose to Jonah in the next match. Close game.
In the very first
Actually,
game.
like close round 3, but
in the very first round.
In the very first round,
After
lost.
betting literally everything in the first round, he loses.
Bidding everything in the first round. So then we did a draft process. I will share my deck here. You can take a look at it if you care about Magic. Narset was my commander. The only notable thing is that I just built all in around Time Walk. I wanted to take as many extra turns as possible and be able to just abuse the fact that my commander copied Time Walk and I could just eke out extra value there. I ended up facing Kevin round 1 in a 1v1. Essentially, the way it worked is out of the top 8, we started with 4 1v1s. The winners of the 4 1v1s moved into the final pod to play there. I faced Kevin in a 1v1. Kevin had never drafted the Commander Cube before. Again, first time. Drafted a sick Omnath deck. Beat me game 1 again. And so now I'm looking at having to reverse sweep, which I barely pull out game 2. Close game 2. And then game 3, he got mana screwed. Classic Magic move. Unfortunate way to have it go down. But was able to pull it out. Go into the final pod, which is exciting.
And the Cinderella run.
Obviously, like, it is an electric feeling being part of that final pod. The game was also crazy. We have it streamed on YouTube, so if you want to check it out,
lasted
you totally
a long time.
But it was myself, Daw, Jay, and Jonah. And to describe it in a non-magic way, very simple. The game started off with Jonah having a really aggressive start, popping off in the lead, and then using that to attack me, like just put everything into me. Jay, Daw, and I noticed that Jonah was popping off and worked together to put him down. Daw ended up killing him. In doing so, Daw kind of overextended his resources, so then Jay board wiped, kind of removed all the resources, which left Daw almost out of the game, and myself and Jay both on low resources, but still like with reasonable things going on. I started only attacking Jay, just kind of hoping that Daw would stay out for long enough. Was able to...
I played him earlier in the tournament, and his deck was basically kind of the same thing that I was going for, but done by a seasoned Magic player, so it was way better.
Daw's very good.
And very intense.
Daw's very good at Magic. as it turns out.
Jay, not Dog.
Oh, it's Jay. Well, Jay is also very good at Magic.
He went like mono white and
Yes.
mono black
For the vintage,
and
yeah, white and black.
yeah, and it was
Good.
very intense. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, essentially, I was able to 1v1 Jay from that point, and Daw was able to bring back a little bit of momentum at the end, but not enough. I was able to close it out, and through literally like dozens of misplays, was able to win the Magic tournament, win the first Magic
that's your
tournament I've
first
ever
one.
won, which was pretty hype, and was
Into the
crowned,
winner's cabal, as it's colloquially known.
exactly, joining Bobby, Ethan, and Colin in the winner's cabal. So there is a picture of the top 4 with all of our tags. I think the tags were a great component of this BDB.
Oh yeah.
Aiden, you can tell me what you think about that.
I think yeah, for those of y'all that weren't at BDB number 5, we had a dog tag mechanic, or I guess spectacle rather, where each trophy was basically placed on top of a bin, kind of a mason jar almost. But if you eliminated a competitor from the tournament, they would give you their dog tag, and you would walk up to the trophy and snap their dog tag and put it in. So it was a very cool mechanic. It made the trophy kind of have a little bit more weight, both literally and figuratively. But it was very cool. Yeah.
Exactly. And you can see here the trophy made up of all of the broken dog
Fallen
tags
heroes, yeah.
that were collected along the way. You may also notice that the trophy at the top is shattered. That is because Jonah had a rage crash out when he lost the tournament in top 8 and literally smashed the trophy onto the floor. Generally,
Jonah is a live
behavior.
wire. You got to be very careful around Jonah. We've like issued some disciplinary memos to him, but
he's actually on his 3rd strike. If he causes physical harm to other people again, we will actually have to remove him from the FMEC. The incident 1 we don't talk about. This was incident 2. Somebody almost got glass on their foot.
Yeah, we normally discuss disciplinary measures in private with the alleged perpetrator of such acts, but in Jonah's case, he is such a liability and such a danger to the other tournament goers that it is important that we get the warning out.
I actually do encourage you to approach Jonah with caution at any future FMEC events. I mean, really just a live wire, untrained hound dog, like, you could get bit.
Yes.
Just kidding. He's such a lovely guy. He accidentally knocked over the trophy. It shattered, and because he's an epic guy, he put it back together, kept all of the pieces in the Japanese style of making something broken even more epic than it was beforehand. So that was my run. That was the BDB. It was an incredible time. I think, again, based on the post report from everybody, it was a great time. And we are excited for what will happen at the BDB 6. But before that, Aiden, before the BDB 6, what do we got? We
have the Bacchanalia.
The Bacchanalia.
Coming soon.
That is exciting. There's a cheers to that, because I think, again, as we described the BDB, I think it's really important to lay down what is the Bacchanalia. You're somebody that has never gone to a FMEC event, or maybe you went to the BDB and you're like, okay, we have the summer event coming up. Basically, same thing as the BDB, right? Wrong. Aiden, I described what the BDB meant to me, kind of how I visualize it. How do you visualize the Bacchanalia, also called the Bach?
The Bacchanalia is an event that is very close to my heart. I think it is also close to Noah's as his first. It is the progenitor, with some inspiration off of another tournament hosted by Mason if y'all are familiar, who started the Nugget Invitational. Noah was inspired and inspired by that, as well as a high school thing, I believe.
That's the real one for the Bach.
Yeah, he was inspired to create the Bacchanalia, which is, unlike Magic and Smash and BDB being the only two events and being individual, the Bacchanalia, like the Roman Bacchanalia or the Greek Olympics, so to speak, is a festival of much revelry in which all of the competitors are sorted into two teams who earn points for those teams in a variety of events. Magic and Smash, of course, being a staple, but not the sole focus. More so on variety events that range from traditional and noble to wacky and full-on ridiculous. So it has been a very fun event to be a part of throughout the years.
Really, yeah. Instead of the BDB, where the all glory goes to the individual winner of the two tournaments, we have two tournaments, and we make them as epic as can be. The goal of the Bacchanalia is very different. Instead of individualistic, it is collective. The goal is you are with a team. You are contributing with your team to the outcome of the event by participating in many different events, not just two big tournaments, but many events, each contributing points to your team total. So traditionally red team versus blue team. And not all glory goes to the individual. It is a collective that you are working together to contribute points for over, as Aidan described, many goofy events. So I'll cycle through some photos here. Some
They
of
are
the events,
very goofy.
very goofy. The event we're looking at here is the spicy chess challenge, where Seth and John, two absolute chads for doing this, had a full plate of chicken nuggets and the hottest hot sauce we could find, and had to do a game of chess where every piece that they captured from the enemy, they had to eat that many chicken nuggets covered in hot sauce based on that piece's value. So pawns worth 1, rooks were worth 5. Basically, the more you captured, the more you had to eat. And by the end of it, they were both vibrating with, like, the sauce was insane. I consider myself pretty apt in the spice world. I asked for 5 at the at the Indians, whatever spice level. I try to push my limits. I like spice. I had 1 dollop of this, and I was like shaking. These guys ate basically an entire bottle of it while doing chess. So absolutely insane. We had kiddie pool oil wrestling, where they
Definitely leaning into the Greek influence here.
exactly.
A little bit more.
We had a sauna math competition where they had to get cooked up in the sauna and then do mental math. Well, not mental math. They had to do math in Roman numerals. So we'd show them like a math problem, some simple arithmetic, but they were all in Roman numerals, and they had to do that after being in the sauna at max heat for like 20 minutes. That was a lot of fun. We had a airsoft pistol competition. We had gladiator jousting. I mean, all sorts. Oh yeah, this is a great one. We have
The cardboard office chair joust, yeah.
Cardboard office chair jousting. This one that you're looking at a video of now is the beautiful slip and slide challenge. You had to very artistically drink 2 beers and then go down the slip and
You watching
slide.
Jason's?
Yeah, we're watching Jason's right now, which of course absolutely beautiful. And then he shotgunned a beer after. And then who did Jason face in this fabled challenge but our hero Aidan here himself? Which we don't have to watch this whole beautiful video, but it was beautiful. Unfortunately, there were allegations of the judging team being biased towards Jason, and so of course, he ended up winning that event. But point is, all of these different
Jason won fair and square.
Yep, fair and square. Oh, here's a video of this was Nick and Jeff in the smelling salts challenge, where they had to take a deep rip of smelling salts and try to stay as stoic as
Yeah, that
possible.
one was fun.
No reaction.
The ice bath challenge was also a good one.
Yep. That was one of my favorites. Everyone.
But something else that we're completely missing, Noah, that we shouldn't. And for those of you that are watching that have never been a part of the Bacchanalia, or perhaps are newer additions that are not as familiar, or don't look at Discord notifications too often in the FMEC Discord, but the Bacchanalia is also an interesting event because there is a separate opponent before the games even begin. Something that we've been doing, I think, since the second one, is the online component of the Bacchanalia, which a lot of people don't really focus on. But for those of you gamers out there that are, into games like Minecraft, CS:GO, League of Legends, all the multiplayer staples, as well as some other smaller titles. We do have an online segment and component to the games that really accumulate a lot of points before the in-person event even starts. So if that's something that you haven't been aware of prior, or if you're new and you're just hearing about this, more details about those are coming. We're actively setting up those online events very soon. So
For
keep your
example,
eyes on the FMEC Discord.
well, we'll transition soon into talking about the next one. But before we get into that, yeah, last year we had some really fun online events, including League of Legends, which, if you haven't seen, we have a beautiful YouTube video of that where I am casting this event, having never played League of Legends before in my life at this point, watching the series. It was a pretty damn good series, honestly, like very close.
It was 3-2, yeah.
Goofy,
Very intense.
if you want to listen to the comms happening, you can. I hop into the different calls and hear it happening. We also did a Minecraft event, a PUBG event. There was a lot of fun on the online events to have. So yeah, that was last year. Ton of fun. We are doing the Bacchanalia again this year. The dates are live. We are doing it
Yes.
August 21st through 23rd. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like previous years, we will be having red team versus blue team competing over a variety of events. Now,
There's a good preface for this.
yes.
I will let Noah set the stage for what this event is going to be, but there is a quote. There's a quote among the FMEC, and it kind of gives you a bit of perspective on where these events come from and where they're going, and it really sets the stage for this one. You saw the stakeholder report. You saw how everybody was blown away by BDB number 5, and people were blown away by Bacchanalia number 5, and people were blown away by BDB number 4, and on and on and on. And the quote that I will leave you with is that everyone thinks to themselves after the last event that they attend, wow, this is it. It doesn't get better than this, but it always does. Bacchanalia 6 is going to do the same thing.
100%. Actually, that's a great. First off, I agree 100%, and I actually have empirical evidence to prove this because in the stakeholder report, you can see here one of my favorite questions to ask is, which do you prefer, the Bacchanalia or the BDB? So this was the BDB, and I released after the BDB asking what people preferred between the Bacchanalia and the BDB. You will see here, post BDB 5, 63% of people said they liked the BDB more than the Bach. 37% said they liked the Bach more. First, already, that's a pretty, immediately after the BDB, the craziest event we've ever had in the resort. 37% of people still said they preferred the Bacchanalia over the BDB. And this, recency bias, everything else happening. How do I know there's recency bias happening? And how do I know that Aidan empirically is true with what he's saying? because I also had a closeout survey after the Bacchanalia 5 where I asked the same question. And in that event, which again at that point was like one of the craziest events we'd ever done, like the most fun Bacchanalia, like right after in the recency bias, 53% of people said they preferred the Bacchanalia to the BDB. So post Bach 5, people said they preferred the Bach. Post BDB, people said they preferred the BDB. What's going to happen post this Bach when we ask? I would bet money Bach will have a higher skew, recency bias playing a factor. But the point is, there is no clear favorite. People love both events as two separate events. You like crazy competition, high stakes, tournament. The BDB is going to be where you're at. You like camaraderie and crazy fun, like goofy Roman theme and a lot of crazy events. Bacchanalia is the place for you. I mean, really just, they are so different, but so similar and so special. So we are to give an update for this Bacchanalia. We have the date. Mark it on your calendars. Mark it on your calendars. Mark it on your calendars. I say it 3 times because it's that important.
Get those days off.
Every single year we have, I forgot. When is this again? Oh no, I scheduled a hike in the mountains. Like, whatever. You know, life happens. Sometimes you're going to have conflicts. You're going on your honeymoon, approved exemption from the Bacchanalia. Yeah. Your father dies, approved exemption from the Bacchanalia. Anything less than that?
Do not let the quote fool you. Do not let the quote fool you. Because like, I missed this one. The next one's going to be better anyway. That is the most like, logically false diminutive statement that that your brain could possibly come up with, because
you do not
just because the events keep improving doesn't mean that the events are in any way, a negative. Like at any point, are they a low experience relative to whatever else you could possibly be having going on in your life? Because let's face it, guys, even if your life is that interesting, even if you're on the way to Japan that weekend, the Bacchanalia is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, even if you've been to one already.
Well, this is going to be the one and only Bacchanalia 6. There's not going to be another Bacchanalia 6. And, we got a little bit of a theme going on, actually. And
true.
Every year, the Bacchanalia is a little different. It's never the same. The concepts are similar, but they're always a little different. This year, the Bacchanalia, we have a team working on the Bacchanalia already behind the scenes. We're planning events. We're coming up with logistics. We're determining venue. This will be the most planned and best planned event we've had yet. And we have come up with a theme. And I don't want to get too into it. We got to leave some of the spice for the big reveal later on. But just know, taking place in this Greco-Roman themed event, the Bacchanalia, this year we're going to lean into it, of course, as we always do. This year, so far as both teams will have a captain. But captain? That's not right. No, both teams will have a Caesar, a leader wearing the clean white robes, heralded with the laurel, and while they will be the public front for their team, helping lead them to victory, not all is as it seems, because there will be those plotting, some conspirators, as you would call it, plotting the downfall of Caesar, hidden in the shadows this year. So, don't want to get into the details, but just know there'll be a little bit of a dynamic there. Julius Caesar themed Bacchanalia number 6. You do not want to miss it. It is going to be so hype.
As history revealed, for every Caesar there is a Brutus. So
will you be the Caesar this year? Things. Will you be the Brutus, or will you be a townsperson? We will find out.
True.
But all that to say, we are planning it 2 months out right now. We are working on events as we speak, and we are nearing the part where we want to hear from you what events you want to see at the Bacchanalia. So, if you have an event that you loved last year that you thought of and be like, oh, this would have been perfect, share those events with us. We want to know. Yeah,
Does that form live in the Discord?
no, and it probably won't be for a bit, but more just like message us, like share it. We can turn that into a more formalized idea. Share it in the comments, pull me aside, let me know, send me a message. We'll make it happen, maybe, but we want to hear from you.
Sure.
So that's the Bacchanalia. I mean, I could not be more excited for this thing. Will red team prevail? Will blue team prevail? Who will be Caesar? What will happen to Caesar? All these questions remain to be answered. So I think, again, have it on your calendars. Get ready. More details to come.
Also,
but
not to reveal too much, but for those of you that have been to previous Bacchanalias, the Smash and Magic event, while down a peg in levels of isolated importance, has been pretty consistent in the format in terms of a tournament style. Bacchanalia 6 is going to be bringing something new to the table with those events as well. So even if the goofy games aren't really your thing and you're a BBB person, but you really do like Magic and Smash, be excited because new things are coming.
yes, we have had a recurring, not issue, kind of an issue, but a component, I'll call it, where
It's been an issue for sure.
It's been an issue. It really has. Unironically, it's been an issue where I just spoke all these words about how the Bacchanalia is different from the BDB. The BDB is these big tournaments. The Bacchanalia is about having lots of tournaments. And yet, every year for the Bacchanalia, we've had a big Smash tournament and a big Magic tournament. They haven't been up to the scale of the BDB, but they've still been big. And guess what? They still take forever. All of Friday night, Smash tournament. All of Saturday, Magic. And that's like the whole weekend. So that's been a recurring issue, is that even though they're not supposed to be that big of a deal, they still are. This year, we're changing the formula. Do not fret. We will still have Magic. We will still have Smash, as Aidan just said. But they will be in a new skin, a different format. Still fun, exciting, still, a sizable component. But it will no longer dominate the entire weekend between those two events. We have cracked the code of how to allow them to happen while still having lots of fun events happening in conjunction.
In no ways are they taking a step down in spectacle.
Correct. In fact, it literally might be arguably more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
Like, we have Mason, our FMEC head Smash leader, who is cracked the code on an epic format. Again, details will come. Just know it's going to be actually just incredible. So, I don't know. That's all I have to say related to the Bacchanalia. If there's nothing else we're missing there, Aidan, I think we can talk a little bit about the FMEC in general and then probably close it out.
Yeah, I think the FMEC got its first kind of, I guess its debut as a Discord server logo. But since then, Noah has taken it upon himself to, as the scale of these events continues to grow, Noah, who had historically been basically doing the entire thing by himself each and every year, twice a year, culminating in the Bachelor Bash, which was kind of, Noah's kind of experiment almost, if he was planning that far ahead to see what this would reveal. But the BDB as it was at the time, number 4 was Noah's first event in which he entrusted a lot of the planning to other people, or at least got, because he couldn't stay away, at least got a lot of involvement in helping organize, plan, and run the event so that he could, for his bachelor party, take a seat back, take a seat, a little bit back, enjoy the show as a spectator, get that experience as opposed to the cortisol spiking running the thing. throughout the weekend. And what that revealed to him, I think, is that a lot of people are willing to help because these events are special to a lot of the people that he has put them on for, and thus are willing to give back and help out to make the tournaments and the events as awesome as possible and continue that growth. So Noah has kind of, and I'll let you talk about this part, taken big steps.
Yeah. So exactly as Aidan said, really hit it on the head. Traditionally, I planned these events, and it was really exciting for me, truthfully, to be the one to plan them because I wanted it to be a surprise for my friends. I wanted them to be able to just show up and enjoy and have it be this crazy spectacle, amazing thing. I mean, that worked insofar until it has outgrown that. The FMEC, our wonderful friendship multiverse, has grown to be large enough that a single event is kind of beyond the scope of one person planning. Even the BDB for my bachelor party, as Aidan mentioned, was a whole team of people planning it. The BDB 5, the one we just did, even though I was still taking lead on planning it, we still had a lot of help from other people. Aidan here did a ton of content creation, an unbelievable amount of content creation, giant help. We had a team of food people helping do food. We had Britt doing graphic design. We had Mason running Smash. We had yada, yada, yada. Like, still a lot of people helping, right? Essentially, all the FMEC is, as a entity, is a formalized group of people that are willing to help put on these events. They are willing to sacrifice time, energy, and effort to help make these events better. It literally just boils down to that. And so to that end, we created the FMEC as the umbrella company. And yes, the FMEC is a licensed LLC in the state of Texas, so we are official. The FMEC is the umbrella LLC that hosts the BDB and the Bacchanalia. The BDB is still the BDB. The Bacchanalia is still the Bacchanalia. It is just the FMEC team that helps put it on. So, we have the FMEC Discord and the events are run through there. Essentially, just kind of like creating some structure. And we have a corporate board now. This board is as official as the FMEC board sounds. So, not really, but also yes. I mean, essentially, just right. We have the people that have already been sacrificing time, energy, and effort to make these happen are just a little bit more formalized in their roles. So we have, Mason is the head of Smash. We have Aidan here, head of media. We have Britt, head of graphic design. Brandon is helping as an operations officer. We have John, who is running as the financial officer, just helping with numbers. Like, essentially, really is just pulling in the skills of people who have already been giving time and energy to the organization. So if you're not part of the corporate board and you're like, why wasn't I part of it? Well, probably because, you just want to show up and enjoy the event, which is great. And we encourage that. And we want that. We want you to be able to go and have, just show up stress-free and enjoy. And this is the team of people that are able to help make that happen for you. So that essentially is what the FMEC is. The goal is just to be able to put on these events. That is like literally all our North Star is to make these events better every year. And we have a team of people that are willing to help make that happen. If you hear this and you're like, I feel like I want to, help sacrifice my time and energy and effort to make these events better. Like, that sounds exciting to me. Hey, reach out. I mean, we always can make it happen. These are not permanent or, concrete positions. They're flexible. We're able to make things happen. It is really just a place to help make these events as grand as they can be. So,
I think another detail there is kind of, if you're wondering, what really, what does it even mean? Basically, what it means for you guys is that, for you guys, us, is that Noah, who historically has done it all himself, kind of is compartmentalizing and delineating certain things that he is both simultaneously interested in, but also takes away time from planning the event and generating ideas as far as like theme, events, the fun stuff that really is like what is event goer facing. Like he can focus more on that so that the events keep improving, not only in just scale, um, but in spectacle, in the ideas being original, cool, fun, exciting. So he can focus on what he really gets a joy out of focusing on, and some of the more dry aspects of putting these events on are delineated to friends that are willing to help out, and that
Well,
could be you or not. Either way, it's cool.
yeah, and I don't want it to seem like I'm just offloading, busy work. It's not that. Each person that is part of, whatever role they have is something that they're truly talented in. Like, I think that every person that's part of the board really has a talent in the area that they're at. And I mean, almost always better than me. Like, Aiden helping out with media creation. I mean, I can do media creation, but having somebody who's already talented in it and can just take a lead in it, that's awesome. I suck ass at graphic design. Brick can do that. Great. Like, all these different people really do just make it better by me being able to trust them with part of the process. And so, I don't want it to seem like I can do anything and
Yeah,
I'm just
no, I guess.
offloading busy work, right? Like, no, the event is getting better because these people are involved, which is also really exciting. So I guess also in that light, if you feel like you have a unique skill that can help with the FMEC, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's a beautiful group of friends we have, and it's just growing, and these things are getting better. And yeah, we can't wait to see. I guess this Bacchanalia will be the first event officially put on by the FMEC LLC. So I think it will show great dividends, the effort that we have put in, and will be again,
Yeah, don't let this podcast fool you. Don't let the quality of this podcast fool you. Better things are coming.
Better things are coming indeed. And I mean, again, the BDB was incredible. I think we got the hype there. The Bacchanalia, there will be things that will out hype the BDB, and I feel confident about that, which is just like a crazy concept, but I know it will be true. So I think that's pretty much everything that we set out to cover, Aiden, in this podcast episode pilot from the FMECP, or I guess the
Yeah,
FMEP.
the FMEP.
FMEP. Stay tuned.
FMEP.
Um, yeah. Anything else? Any closing words before we wrap her up?
Yeah, I think the main thing to take away from this, there's going to be, a poor place to put it, but I might put this in the beginning. But everything's going to be timestamped. So if you're only interested in one section of this, feel free to hop around. Moving on to closing thoughts. I think there is a very clear direction for where not only is this event going, but where the events are going as a whole, which could be a good or a bad thing. Whatever you think about the events, feedback is the most useful resource. So if you have any ideas, criticisms, things that you wish were included in these events that are not, things that you've seen included that you think are, detracting from the value that you would get, please DM Noah. Don't DM me, because I don't want to hear any of that. DM Noah so that he can further delineate and improve, and we can keep making these events as fun as they are.
100%. I think it's a great thing to bring up. Like, the form for feedback at the end of these events. I get it can be like kind of annoying to fill out a survey. Nobody likes filling out a survey unless you're crazy. But we take that feedback seriously. Every comment about, was there a bad vibe? How could we improve? We read each and every one of them. We went over them in our board meeting. Like, we reviewed the feedback, and I mean, we really are trying to implement and improve on everything. So every comment you have, if you put something down, we read it, we carefully thought about it. Like, we take that very seriously. And yeah, I think we'll be able to show the improvements on a lot of things this year. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. It just keeps getting better. I don't know where this thing is going to end, but the trajectory is up, and we got a team to help make that happen. So I think that's it. We'll be back with more updates soonish. I mean, again, 2 months away. The Bacchanalia, it is coming, and we have some exciting things in store. So I think we can end it for now. Keep your eye out. This will be published on YouTube and on Shorts.
Yeah.
Comment, subscribe, share, all that bullshit.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, ring that bell. Man, we put in a lot of effort on this content. Last year, or for the BDB, part of the report was about the content that we made for. We made 14 videos for the BDB, over an hour and 15 minutes. We made a movie of worth of edited videos for the BDB. And of the 50 people we had show up to the BDB, we had 20 subscribers on the YouTube at that time. So less than half of the people that show up are subscribed to the YouTube, and it's 20 people that we're grateful for. It should be 50.
It's fine for now.
It's fine
for now. I think the BDB was a litmus test for sure on the amount of content we could make given a certain time frame. I think there's for those of y'all that are interested in the content, but some of those videos, you click on them and you're like, I'm watching this because these are my friends and the videos aren't good. We know. They are going to improve. We've, as we keep doing it, we are committed to improving it. So if you did enjoy it, know that they will be improving.
Your involvement inspires us to make it better. Having, if there are no views and no comments and no engagement, we will continue making videos for the love of the game, but
True. The love of the game.
For the love of the game, but there's not a directive versus we get views and comments. I mean, that it really shows that y'all care and inspires us to do more, and make it better. So,
likewise, if it sucks, I know. Okay,
literally,
this is something that needs to be said because y'all are really nice guys. Y'all are homies. A lot of y'all are my friends. A lot of y'all are Noah's friends, and vice versa. The friendship multiverse is a giant Venn diagram of people that know each other personally, and saying things like, "Hey, man, that video sucked," is not something that a lot of you want to do. But for me, that is easily the most valuable thing you can say. If there's a part of the video
maybe
that you
not
think
just
is
the
poor,
video
looks
sucked, but here's why. Improve this.
Yeah.
We love,
or something that you'd like to see. All of that is honestly maybe even more useful than just liking the video and saying it was great. Because otherwise they will continue to be, they will continue to improve, but honing in on those areas is really where y'all can help
roast
me out.
us.
So I'm more requesting this out of y'all to kind of let me know, what parts were more enjoyable, what parts were less enjoyable, what do you want to see more of, what do you want to see less of, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let the math, and the videos will keep getting better.
Yeah.
So
I think with that, I can end it with the FMEC slogan, our shining North Star, the thing that we really just guides our whole principles as an organization. We at the FMEC are committed to each and every day shoving AI into as much of the process as we possibly can, using as much AI everywhere, anytime. AI. That's the FMEC logo, and that's what we will be doing. So you can rest assured, we got it.
Artificial intelligence, artificial fun, artificial spectacle.
By BDBB 7, who knows? We might just have AI Claude versus AI Chat GPT, and that's the event, man. What a spectacle. We live in the best of times. Of course.
Instead of Noah, Mason, Aidan on the board, it'll be Claude, Gemini, Chat.
Exactly. Well,
Exciting
while we still have critical thinking skills before those disappear entirely, I will say thank you for being part of the process, everybody. We appreciate you making these things as epic as they can be. Wouldn't happen without you. Say it every time. It's always true. These things would be nothing without the people that attend. So thank you all. We are
Shout
excited
out
for
the
the Bach.
homies.
Shout out everybody that's helped make it happen and that shows up to the events. We love y'all. Can't wait for the Bach. And we'll see y'all soon. And with that,
Peace.
bye-bye.